All right, we're starting with the prologue. So in the prologue, we unfortunately don't have a dash ability just yet. But Madeline can climb walls, and she can bunny hop to actually go just a hair faster. And with that, Madeline now has her dash. All right, so we're going to be starting old site. So with that, we're going to be going through. So the main mechanic of old site is that we have these traffic blocks. And when you stand on them or grab them, they will shoot you forward. What we're seeing, though, is a lot of vertical dashes to try to avoid a lot of these blocks. These vertical hypers are kind of a thing. And with that, both players are just navigating through the old site. Ooh. DSgamer missed hitting a spike there. And Flesh hitting a spike. So we're also seeing a lot of hyper dashes, which is when you're crouching down and holding a direction and then doing a dash. It's just you gain insane amounts of speed and distance. And DS going to be going for the neutral wall jump, getting it. Oh, DS reset a little early there. There we go. And completes his thing. There we go. I'm going to switch over to... So DS is currently in Stage 2. Stage 2 introduces these dream blocks. They're right now currently inactive. There we go. DS was trying to get a skip there. Just kept missing it. So the dream blocks are a one-way dash through. So if you do end up banging into a wall, that will be instant death. And here we have the introduction of Battle Line. Battle Line will mimic your movements at a 3-second delay. So you just have to be mindful of where you're going and how you want to dodge them, especially in rooms where you have to collect all these keys. But runners are going to make that look so easy. And DS is going to be taking a dev-intended skip there. Perfect. And every time you exit through one of the dream blocks, you do regain your dash, so you can use that to chain dash, just like they did. And it turns out that entire section was just a dream. So this is the awake section. The dream blocks are inactive, if you do find one. And it's basically just go through the top part. And that's stage 2. Old site. Coming up on the Celestial Resort. This is the part where you actually get, it's just a little ramped up in difficulty a little bit. Those little red dust bunny blobs, they are on a timer. So nothing in this game is RNG. This is all based on cycles, and there are traditionally just 2 cycles for every room. There is the entrance cycle and the death cycle. Knowing how to do both is usually beneficial. However, if you just know how to do the entrance cycle, you can always exit the room and re-enter. But if you effectively do everything at the same time every single time you do it, the room will always play out the exact same. So DS just met the hotel manager, Oshiro, and he's like, "Oh, I want you to stay at my luxurious presidential suite." Too bad he doesn't tell her how to really get there just yet, but... So those keys are going to be more coming into play in a few later stages, but they basically just unlock the doors. And we're coming up onto Huge Mess. As you can see in the room, there are 3 different colors of types of blocks. You got the purple towels, the green books, and the brown boxes. After talking to Oshiro, you offer to help clean it up. And there are 3 different directions that we go. Almost every single runner is going to do these following. They're going to go south first. And the reason why we do these in a specific order is because of where it lands us and where Oshiro is going to be. And right there, we just had a spike jump on DS Gamer's side. Spikes work if you go towards the spike, it will trigger the hit. But if you're going away from the spike, like you would be on that one wall, it doesn't trigger. So the next one, we're going to go north. Question in chat, remember what are their PBs? According to speedrun.com, as of right now, but this could still be inaccurate if there is a pending review of a recent run. Currently, Flesh has a 4651 and DS has a 3928. And then as you saw when DS went through the second section, Oshiro was literally right there. And now they've entered the sewer section. And with that, the huge mess is gone, and you can obtain the key. And now we're in the elevator shaft. Gets through it no problem. Well, Flesh goes through and gets the second of third from the big mess. And in this room, if you can do this properly, oh, missed it. Okay, good recovery. 3 hyper dashes right there could get you, and with perfect timing to snag that key in fast time. DS noticing he was going to miss that 3rd hyper, so decided to wait it out. Again, there is no RNG in this game. It's literally all cycles. So now Shiro's a little mad, and he's going to start chasing DS through the route. Ooh. There we go. So any death on these screens are going to be just a little more costly because they send you back to the beginning of the screen. Uh-oh. There we go. Oof. And DS is on the final screen of the third chapter. And makes it through with a 5:46. That's a very good chapter time. Up next is going to be Golden Ridge. And this level introduces green bubbles, clouds, and wind. One thing to note about the wind, it does not affect your dash. It affects everything else, but not your dash. So we'll be seeing that accordingly. So even though the wind's blowing at him, he's dashing, and it's not slowing him down while he's dashing, but while he's walking or running, it's going to. And these little blue balls, bubbles, they basically will give you a temporary directional as you input the direction to go. Again, trying to get the spike hop there. And let's see if we can get... I think we're going to be getting an auto-scroller skip here. Oh, missed it. See if third time's a charm for him. Flesh just starting up their Golden Ridge. They're going to be going through the same exact rooms, pretty much the same exact way. Alright. Looks like Flesh does not do the complete spike hop skip there, but that's alright. Do what you're comfortable with. And now the wind's going to be getting really extreme, so you have to rely on your dashes at this point. Alright, DS getting through on the snowball section there. And now the wind's at your back, you can get some really intense speed in the. And with that, Golden Ridge is complete. Flesh coming up to the midpoint of Golden Ridge, while DS starts the Mirror Temple. The Mirror Temple is one of the more frustrating levels casually, but with the speed run, it significantly shortens it. The temple introduces the red bubbles, which are just like the blue bubbles, except they keep going until either you dash out of them or hit a solid object. And then they also introduce the dash platforms and doors. The dash platforms will move when you dash anywhere in the room, and you can use them to get some massive speed boosts. And then, of course, we have the doors, which require the switches. You just dash on them to open them up. Alright, DS coming up to the midpoint of the temple where you get introduced to the Seekers. You get to control the Seeker to understand how they move. To give you the quick version, Seekers can go through the red walls, they basically destroy them, but the little starry walls, they bounce off. And of course, the moment they touch Madeline, she dies. Flesh going to be starting their temple. And here's where the Seekers come into play. The Seekers can activate switches at the same time. We will be utilizing this in a couple rooms here. And also, if you hit the Seeker on the head, it'll revert into like a cocoon state for a moment. Right here. Well, DS could have waited, and the Seeker could have blown the switch up, but right there, the Seeker touches that switch, so it counts. And now we're coming up on one of the major skips of the Mirror Temple takes 2 to 3 minutes on DS's side. This is one of the early tricks that's easy to learn. Right there, you just saved like 2-3 minutes. Because what you have to do casually is there are two key doors that you have to get 2 keys in the temple to unlock and take a red bubble. So instead, we just jump over the spikes. And DS hitting Crystal Theo. While you're carrying Theo, you can't really dash unless you let go of him. And if Theo gets basically thrown into a pit or crushed, it effectively kills you. This is effectively kind of a co-op-ish thing. You can use Theo to smack crystals, to hit door chimes. Right there, DS just used the explosion from the Seeker to gain a massive speed boost. Oof. Intended to use Theo to get that switch. Oh, right there, we got an example of a Seeker being destroyed. If a Seeker gets crushed, it will die. The only thing is I don't know if they come back after a certain amount of time. I don't think I do, but I honestly do not know. And DS is in the final part of the Mirror Temple. Flesh is in his Seeker section. DS clearing the temple. DS is now coming up to Reflection, the quick version of this, since it's not going to make sense. You confront Battlein near the top, and she knocks you all the way down to the bottom of the mountain. And this section introduces feathers. Feathers give you... Effectively, it's analog control flight. Better to use analog, but if you use D-pad, that's fine too. And you can move in every direction. DS not going for Lake Skip. That's alright. Probably not comfortable with it. And those are Kevin blocks. Kevin from Power Up Audio was the one who made the sound of those blocks. And from what I've heard, it's him sticking his head in a bucket of water and gurgling. So it's interesting how some of these sounds are made. And this level also introduces bumpers, kind of like a pinball bumper. You hit it, you'll ricochet off. We will see those momentarily. Right there. So Reflection is a unique stage where there are actually multiple paths. You can go up, you can go down, you can switch in the middle like you just did there. Ah, supposedly it was made just for the underwater version. Okay. Good to know, good to know. All right, Flesh completing their temple. They're coming up onto Reflection. And now the final part is you're going to be seeing all of the tendrils from Battlin's hair. All right, DS is coming up. There's a dev intended skip here. Let's see. There's one. He only takes the one. Okay, and two. Oh, nope. All right, so he took two of the three skips. All right, let's see if DS goes for the Battle and Boost. Does not. You can get an insane amount of speed off of that Kevin block. And here is our fight with Battlin. Get your hey-yahs up. So, if you're interested in a little bit of the lore, Battlin is your pragmatic side who basically is like, you can't do this. Why are you even trying? And the magic of Mount Celeste actually manifested her into a corporeal being. So again, everything here is cycle-based. Nothing here is random. Oh! Laser straight to the face. Alright, Flesh coming up through to the midpoint of Reflection. So these runners are still pretty close. DS with a small lead. But it's never over until you hit flag. It's never over until you hit the top of the flag. At the top flag of the mountain. So the story behind this fight also goes is that supposedly Battlin is scared because she understands the power of the mountain, and if you complete your task, she might become not more. Yep, that is another mention in chat that if the game isn't still over, it's over when the in-game timers say it is. So just because one player touches the top flag does not mean the race is over. That just means they've solidified their time. And with that, you and Battlin have made amends. She has given you her power, manifesting in a second dash. So what's going to happen now is when we come up to the summit, you're going to have game in review. You start in Reflection and then go through the city, Old Site, Celestial Resort, Golden Ridge, and Mirror Temple before actually climbing the final summit. You're going to notice, though, there is going to be a lot less ground. DS Gamer is on pace for a potential personal best. It is dependent on his summit time. So the game is going to basically force you to, hey, you just got this double dash, you're going to need to use it, and you also need to remember how to do all of your other techniques that you learned through this entire climb. Flesh giving it, Flesh in the middle of their battle and fight. So here's the old site variant of the section. Flesh entering part 2 of the battle and fight as DS enters 1000M. Dream blocks make a comeback. However, you are very much awake in this section. Off of that little spot where there's 2 dream blocks that are connected by a corner, if you get that corner just right, you can actually dash through both of those blocks in a single action. 1500 M, Celestial Resort. Taking his time to wait the cycles out. Perfectly understandable. And DS entering 2000 M. Flesh starting his summit. DS with the first strawberry pickup on his end. Alright, DS going through the semi-auto scroller skip there. You know, there's the part of me that's hoping he is not looking at his timer. He's making very good pace. Whoops. What the heck happened there? Oh, he grabbed onto the ceiling and went too high. It's alright, a few seconds lost, it's no problem. 2500M coming up. Alright, it's not going for the double spike skip. This is basically 2-frame perfect jumps, kind of. I'm not even proficient at that yet, so... The question is does he go for door skip? There you go, moment of truth. Does not. That's quite alright. Door skip actually loses more time if you fail than if you succeed, so... And with that, 3,000 meters. He is now in the final part of the climb. 30 flags separate him from the mountaintop. Flesh at 1500M. So every one of these flags does constitute a checkpoint if there is a death. You no longer go back to the beginning of the screen. Yes, in the infamous downdraft area, you are being pushed down. Again, your dash is not affected if you go vertical. Man, does it feel difficult. And with that, DS is now out of the downdraft. He is now going into the updraft. Flag 19. Skips flag 8. Goes to flag 7. Flag 6. This is getting really close, guys. Send DS Gamer your energy. Flag 1, he has about 30 seconds. That is a potential personal best. We will verify this with DS Gamer. With a 39.17, that does beat what he has on speedrun.com right now. So GG's to DS. And with that, his timer has... Flesh's timer has elapsed the time, so DS Gamer is the victor. Flesh making it to 2,500, though. Let's cheer him on. He's on pace. He's on pace for a PB as well. See if we can get DS in here for an interview. Definitely. We'll definitely remind him to do that. If he hasn't seen it in chat, definitely get your title screen version up. But I'll make it a point to ask that on his end, if he accepts the invite. Looks like he's doing everything he needs to do. Question in chat. Dylan, what are the loud versions? Pretty much any version. There's one version that's not usable. I don't remember which version it is. That's just because there was a nice bug in there that made the game unfair. Flesh starting his 3,000 climb. Flesh has about 4.5 minutes. Thank you, Granby. I knew there was one version that wasn't allowed. It was 1, 2, 3. All right, flag 13 for Flesh. He's coming up on the home stretch. There's 11. There's 9. That's 7. Flesh has about 2 more minutes on his PB. Can definitely shatter it. Again, send energy, guys. Can we see 2 PBs in a match? That would be amazing. That'd be a first for me. Flag 2. Flag 1. Get your GGs in chat. Looks like we might have 2 PBs. GG for both players. Looks like we will be getting Flesh in here. Hello, Flesh.
Hi.
Hey, GG, man. Is that a PB?
Yeah, that's a PB by around a minute. Like,
all right.
My whole PB was 46:51.
Congratulations. Yeah, I looked up the numbers before we started, and I'm like, I'm not 100% if these are accurate because there's sometimes a pending run that we're waiting on. If DS is correct too, he also obtained a PB.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really cool.
So how nervous were you feeling when you were getting close and you were like, oh, I'm ahead? Because I know that had to go through your mind.
You mean, yeah, so at the very beginning, like, for example, my chapter 3 was very, very good for me. Like, compared to my PB, I saved up probably a minute. And then I know, okay, that's going to be a good run. And my Golden Ridge was also super good. I saved up like 2 minutes. And then my Mirror Temple was, like, I failed most of the tricks I never failed before. Reflection was pretty good. Like, I saved 2 seconds compared to my PB, but I know I can do this chapter still way better. But then Summit happened, like always. And the problem was I practiced today first time ever, like, real speed strats. I looked from other runners, I commentate also a lot, what speed strats they are using and tried to implement them to my game. But in most rooms, I still did my own thing, kinda. And I practiced today Mirror chapter 7 and was like, okay, with that I probably can do something big like sub 45. And I failed so many things in Summit and got so frustrated. And yeah, the practice wasn't enough. I definitely should practice a day or 2 before a tournament race and not like the day on the tournament race. Then I should better practice like the old things I already know and try to get more consistent.
Yeah, very well. That's, I mean, it's understandable. You want to definitely get your speed strats, but then sometimes you just go back to what you're used to, which, fair enough. I mean, you have to know what you're basically kind of doing, and like trying to do something on the fly, like, oh, hey, no, I need to do this. It could really mess you up. I know.
Yeah. That was my problem in Chapter 7. I always thought, okay, I have to think even more what to do next. And I messed up so many things and tricks, but yeah. Overall, it was a pretty good run. Like, I died 16 times less than in my PB, and that's my new death record. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Well, definitely don't forget to show your version number in your when you submit it.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. And I see DS in the chat. He would join us, but IRL person sleeping next to him. So I'm gonna, I guess, if there are any questions for DS, go ahead and field them in the chat, and feel free to field any of these questions. Also, DS. Also, DS, was that officially a PB for you? But yeah, not too bad. 74 deaths. That's very good. Sub 100 death is always a good run. Anything, yeah, sub 46, still a good run. I swear I need to figure out how you guys go through some of those so fast. It's so weird. All right, looks like we officially have 2 PBs in this match. So GG to both of you. Oh, actually, Granby asked a good question, and I'll ask that for both of you. How do you feel about the upcoming races? Do you think you're going to make it to the bracket?
So, for me, I don't really think so. Like, you gotta know that I entered the tournament. So I registered for the tournament after SGDQ, and at that point I didn't even finish the game myself, like I was at the end of Chapter 7. And yeah, then I start learning the speedrun. So I'm speedrunning this game for, like, I think officially 4 weeks, but technically 3 weeks because there was 1 week of vacation. And I'm so far really happy with my progress, but I don't think I will make it into the bracket. I'm also in a pretty tough room. Like, I think 4 runners, or maybe even 5, I don't know what the DSgamer's time was, are all sub 40, and that's really hard to get to. So yeah. But I'm happy
I know the feel.
With my improvement, and I just entered the tournament for fun, getting an easier way into the community and meeting new people. Like, there are already some cool people I met through the speedrun and through the community. Shoutouts to the community though.
Yep, we are a very inclusive community. We all will definitely help each other. And again, with the getting the good hard groups, oh man. Tell me about it. I got a hard one myself.
Yeah, like, honestly, every group I think is getting even tougher than it was expected in the beginning, because like everybody's improving during this tournament by a lot, and that's why like everybody's skill is going insane during this tournament. So it's okay to not make it to the group stage, I think. Like, as long as the community gets bigger and more like a family, I think we can all be happy with this. Oh,
I 100% agree with that. With the fact that you as a newer runner to this game, even myself as a newer runner, I started to run this just a little prior to SGDQ, but I was more picking it up. I'm like, this is just something different. I'm not going to get a top time. It's just fun to do. And I was like, nah, heck, I'll join the tournament. It'll help me get better personally, which, I mean, so far, I mean, I've only had 1 race, unfortunately, but still did get a PB out of it. And my personal goal is to try to get to a sub 50 by the end of the 7 matches.
I think you will definitely make it, because like, so far I think the average of PBs in a tournament race is like probably higher than 60-70%. So if you do all your tournament races and PB every time, you're definitely going down to sub 50. I believe in you.
Oh yeah, I think I can definitely get it. It's more, I just need for me, it's the consistency, because My worst spot is Reflection battling, but
Yeah, like
that'll get better with practice.
honestly, battling got so much easier once I practiced with the tutorial. Like before, it was such a huge struggle for myself, and after the practice, I immediately PB'd by 2 minutes in this chapter, and I'm still getting faster and more confident with all the movement techniques you have to use there. And I'm like, since I practice, so when I start practicing chapter 6 with the tutorial, my time was something like 12 minutes 30, and now I am nearly down to 8 minutes or sub 8 minutes, and that's really cool. Like,
Nice.
yeah, practice is key in this game. But yeah, I really enjoy running this game because there's no RNG, and once you practice and get a little bit more consistent, you will see your improvement immediately, not like in other speedruns where you have also rely on RNG or something like this.
Nice. Yeah, again, well, definitely again. So thank you, and thank you, DS, for the amazing race. Again, give these runners a follow if you definitely haven't. These guys put on a great show.
One question I've got. So I think probably in the late game we like our times, or it wasn't close like in the beginning. But when did he go ahead of me? If that sentence makes sense.
He basically, you guys were pretty neck and neck. I mean, he took the lead. He took the lead after Old Site, but it was just minute. It was just his execution was just a touch more on point. So he just gained little bits of time everywhere. I mean, you were entering 2500 when he hit the summit. When he completed the summit climb. So I mean, you guys were relatively close. I don't think there was any point where it was like more than a level difference. Definitely wasn't.
Nice.
Yeah, so I mean, you were behind maybe like half a level, I would say, at the biggest part.
Yeah. Okay, that makes me happy. Like, I also hope we put on a great show for the stream and stuff.
Oh, you definitely did.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for commentating. Like, there are not that many commentators out there, so yeah, appreciate every commentator who's commentated. Like, I try to find my time for commentary myself, but you know, time zones sometimes make it difficult.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Time zones and IRL. And again, if there's anybody in the community that definitely wants to help out, we're always looking for people. Definitely, we're looking for commentators for different games. And even then, you can take a game that you've never ran. And as long as you know the game, you can commentate it. I can definitely tell you that.
Yeah. I think
because like there's a story I commentated for Link's Awakening DX for the Japan RTA attack, and I don't run that game at all. I watch it, I know the game, but I don't run it. But it's just as long as you know the game and know all the stuff, and just never try to explain something you don't know. That's the key thing.
Yeah, also like Speed Gaming is putting so much work into all these streams, and there's really a lot of work behind that. And yeah, they appreciate every help they can get, because yeah, and I think also we, like most speedruns community, should show them even more support. Like, we should work more together, I think. Like, we're already doing a good job, but there's a lot more we can do, in my opinion.
Yep. Agreed. So with that though, let's see what's currently going on. Currently over on Speed Gaming 2, looks like we have a Link to the Past randomizer daily open. It's about an hour in. So probably getting near the end of that. Over on Speed Gaming 1, we have a Luigi's Mansion match. And Speed Gaming 3, we have a Super Metroid Weekly Race randomizer. In Speed Gaming 4, we have Nier Automata. Let's see what's going on with the Celeste. Give me 1 second.
I think Celeste is coming up in 5 hours again.
Yeah, it looks like about 4 hours from now. Looks like we have a match in 4 hours. We don't have any confirmation of a channel just yet. But then at 10 o'clock Eastern, we have Vorpal and GD and Tanner, GD Tog, over on Speed Gaming 1. Looks like that's going to definitely get restreamed. We just don't know who's going to be on commentary for that just yet. Saturday, though, there are quite a few matches tomorrow, starting from 10 in the morning all the way going through 10 at night. Almost a match every single hour. There's like a 2-hour break between 3-hour break between 1 and 4. And then Sunday has a few matches. Monday, we have matches for everything. Like I said, we're in the round robin stage of the groups. So we're getting lots of matches in. But again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, racers, for getting that race. Make sure you guys show your file versions to submit your PBs. Definitely want to reiterate that.
I've already done it.
Good, very good. Congratulations again to DS for winning this match.
Yeah, good luck to him.
Yep. Good luck to both of you in your future matches. Thank you, audience, for tuning in and watching this and helping the community. And with that, I've been Duke. And I will catch you guys on the next climb.
Yeah, and I'm Flesh, and I just say goodbye. Whenever we will see again. So yeah, bye.
Have a good afternoon, everyone.